Welcome to the 41st CSC meeting. We're really excited to be here today, and happy Earth Month. It's really special to be here in the same place, and we're really excited to have this opportunity to be in person here today. My name is Gabby Magaña, and I'm one of your co-facilitators for this evening. And I'm especially excited to be here knowing that it's only the second time that you all have been here in person. So that's what I'm most looking forward to, is just getting to know each of you and providing an opportunity where you're able to do some interactive activities with one another. And I'm going to also let my colleague here introduce herself briefly.
Thanks, Gabby. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Ramos, and I'm one of your co-facilitators. It's also a pleasure to be here in person and get to meet you. I hear an echo. No? No? Okay. So as you all know, because we are in person, that means that we're doing all of our logistics in person and some online. So we hope that all CSC members had an opportunity to sign in, and all of the agency folks and non-CSC members, we also encourage you to sign in so we can document who is here. So if you haven't done so already, please do come see us here at this welcome table. What you will see here on this table is thanks Ned for coming up, a copy of the agenda, a copy of the questions that we'll be discussing during our exercise. We also have this dot system to indicate your level of comfortability with interacting with others, given that today we have a lot of interactive activities. So if by your name you have a red dot, the red means that you are comfortable waving, saying hello from a distance. The yellow, maybe you're interested in just maybe an elbow bump, but you don't want to get too close to folks. And green is just high five. Maybe you are comfortable giving a side hug, professional interaction with other folks. So please do use a dot to indicate your level of comfortability with interacting with everyone. Other logistics is that we're going to be streaming live on, not live, we're going to be recording tonight's session and posting it, thank you Heather, so that it is available and archived on the website like it is on a usual basis. So you'll be hearing a lot from me tonight. I'm going to pass it to my colleagues to continue the introductions, but I want to make sure that everybody has what they need to be successful in today's activities.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura Martinez, and I'm super excited to be here with you all today. And yeah, I hope you're all enjoying some yummy food and engaging in conversations with one another.
And so there's two main purposes for today's meeting. One is really a space for you all to get to know each other, to learn more about each other, because you're working on this collectively for over 3 years, and we know that building community is very crucial to this work. The other main goal is really around community outreach strategies. As you all remember, in our last meeting, we had a bit of a planning session and talked about the importance of sort of coordinating and streamlining some of our efforts around outreach. And so we have a good chunk of the agenda dedicated to an activity around outreach. With that, I do want to pass it on to a couple folks for some welcoming remarks, including the Air District and our community co-host, Tanisha, today. So I'm going to pass it on to the Air District first.
Thank you, Gabby. Hello, everyone. It's so good to see all of you. I'm Jessica Olson. I am the Director of Community Strategies and Resources with the Air District. We've been over the moon planning for this because we just are so happy to be in the same space, share amazing food from the Stockton Community Kitchen, which is incredible. So definitely let us know, and we've been already in communication with some of the great entrepreneurs who have brought us this food today, and we'd love to give them your feedback as well. But one of the things I just wanted to say is just to thank you all for being here. Thank you all for bringing more residents into this program. Some of you are here tonight for actually the first time, even though it's technically our second in-person meeting because we did a big recruitment last year. So I want to welcome you all. I also want to acknowledge that we have City Council member Kimberly Wormsley here from District 6, and she's just happy here representing, and thank you and welcome. Thank you so much for the work that you do and for being here out and with the community. With that, I'm going to pass it to Tanisha, who's been gracious enough to be our co-host, and I'm so grateful for all of the feedback she's provided in designing tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Jessica. Good evening, everybody. My name is Tanisha, and I know some of you guys. And for those who don't, I'm an EJ Program Specialist with Catholic Charities. I've been with Catholic Charities for a year now, and I've been involved with the CSC for a year now. And community engagement portion, it's really hard, really close to my heart, because I feel like community engagement shouldn't be just limited to the superficial boundaries drawn on the map. I think it should go beyond those boundaries. So this is why I wanted to be part of this, and I'm really excited. Back to back.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tanisha. All right, so before we get started, just want to remind us of some of the group norms that we've all established. You may remember when we're on Zoom, we show you the group norms. For today, we do have them posted around the room. You can see them printed in blue paper, and they're also printed here. So I'm just going to briefly remind you that we're here to help achieve the meeting goals, and those are some of the goals that Gabby just mentioned. We want to let everyone participate, so today is going to be a very mobile day where we'll have a chance to mingle, walk from station to station. Please do be mindful of people's space and be mindful of how people want to interact. We want to be civil and respectful. We want to stay on point and on time. We are super excited to be here in this space. We do want to be respectful of your time and end around 7 as we promised. And we want to attack the problem, not the person. And of course, we want to seek common ground so that we can help achieve today's goals. Well, with that said, we're going to kick it off with our first icebreaker. Laura?
Thank you, Amy, Jessica, Tanisha, and Gabby for the introductions. So following last month's lead, we engaged in an icebreaker. And I don't know if you all remember that icebreaker. We went into Zoom rooms, and we talked about what you would like to see a year from now if you were reading the Stockton newspaper, right? So in, following that icebreaker, we want to bring that to this meeting, and so we'll be breaking out into groups of 6 to 7 people, and maybe, actually, we'll do 5, 6 people, and you'll be in those groups for 15 minutes. And in your table, I believe you'll have a sheet that's labeled 1 through 5. Amy's holding it up, and it says group discussion. So in those 15 minutes, you'll be engaging in a discussion with your groups that you've picked, and we highly encourage for you all to talk to folks you usually don't talk to, so you can get a little bit more out of it and really get to know one another on a somewhat deeper level. So after those 15 minutes are up, we'll go ahead and reconvene, and if you could please have one person from your group share out loud, and I know this is a lot to take in, so we'll make sure to give check-ins throughout the meeting or throughout the 15. Yes, you're holding it up. Yeah, that. So you'll be engaging in an icebreaker right now, and Tanisha will actually talk about the icebreaker. Everyone gets one, yeah. Perfect. Thank you for letting us know. So yes, once those 15 minutes are up, we'll come back and have one person share out about one thing that surprised you in your group. And now I'll go ahead and let Amy and other folks give folks sheets if you're missing any. All right, I see a few folks over here that are missing sheets. Awesome. Does everyone have one? Yes. All right. So, with that being said, I'll pass it to Tanisha to share what our relational question is for today.
Thank you, Laura. For tonight's icebreaker activity, we'll be answering the question. In addition to being involved Stockton AB 617 work, what are the 5 things you and your group have in common? For example, you can talk about your professional identity, work around environmental justice, commonality living in Stockton, etc., etc. We'd like for you to think about the common factors you all share that bring us here.
Hello. Okay. I think he said he was going to give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Tanisha. So again, your relational question is, aside from the AB617 work that you're engaged in, what are 5 things you and your group have in common? So again, it could be about your professional identities, and you can honestly gauge what your comfort level is in that group. If you want to go a little deeper and share what your favorite color is, that's okay too. So yeah, just go ahead and share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. And we're really doing this to build, what was that? Okay. Perfect. So we're doing this to build trust with one another, because we know that trust helps build community, and this is what we want to engage in. We want to engage in creating a safe community where folks feel comfortable sharing and, communicating with one another. So we'll give folks 2 to 3 minutes to mingle and find a group of 5 that you usually don't talk to. If that's okay. If you want to change tables, if you want to do it in your table, we're following your lead. These are just a few suggestions. So we'll give folks 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll call you back in. Is that 2 to 3 minutes?
I'm going to do 5. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect. You'll have 2 to 3 minutes.
Right now, just let them mingle and answer the questions and then do the share out.
Hello. It's working now. Okay. Right here to your right. Or to yours.
Okay. We're not right here.
Sure. Is that 2 to 3 minutes?
I have the timer.
Okay.
2 minutes, so 3 seconds. We might need a few more minutes. I would do just 5 minutes. For all of us. We're not going to follow. Yeah. So just right now, like for the so I can walk around and see what you're doing. So 5 minutes goes out to the ship. Which of you would like to do it? You know what I'm saying? Just get to that.
can mute it.
Okay, it seems like folks are engaging in conversation. Go ahead and keep working on it for another 5 minutes, and then we'll reconvene to share out what is one thing you all have in common that surprised you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry to interrupt you. May I have your attention, please?
Hi everyone, reeling everyone back in. Sorry about that. So yes, reeling everyone back in. I'll pass it off to Tanisha.
Thank you. Thank you all for participating. And now we would like to ask one person from each group to share out what's one thing you have in common. So would somebody like the mic?
Okay, by default I'll do it. Okay, our group didn't exactly get a unified discussion going, but I think it could be said that most of us had some commonality talking about a combination of transportation and downtown Stockton. And because we have the port here, I've been with RTD and I'm with Stockton Unified Buses, and Taylor and I worked on we're on the last Delta Protection League, which has a reunion thing a week from Friday. And this gentleman reported on algae blooms. I testified in Sacramento about 4 years ago with SB, I think, about how algae blooms are going to hurt the economic development of downtown Stockton. And I know Ed has reported for many times on many things to do with air quality. And these gentlemen and I talked about downtown renovation. So that's the best answer I can give you.
Thank you, Nate. Over to this group. Anybody would like to speak? We have a volunteer.
Hold on, I didn't even say anything. Guilty by association. I think for our table, I think that we can collectively say that we love Stockton, that we are all advocates, that we all have a care and a desire to see our air quality being protected. I think that collectively we can also say that we are enjoying the electric bikes that I got to ride last weekend, and then yeah, and the electric cars. So I think it was like 5. Yeah, checkmate.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Sorry to put you on the spot. Okay, over to this group. Any volunteers?
All right, hey everybody. I'm Jazzy. Nice to meet you all in person. Our group, we were all born in California. We all enjoy the outdoors. I was the only oddball whose favorite place wasn't the water, so we went with the outdoors. And we were all born in a hospital, no home births over here. We all have pets, and we are all teachers and students. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jazzy. All right, next table.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Esperanza Vielma, and I'm here representing our Northern California environmental advocate foodies who like gardening.
Thank you, SB. I will go ahead and pass it over to Laura.
Thank you all for engaging in a rich conversation. Oh, is there one more group? You kind of have 2? Okay. Do you want to share? Go ahead and share. Yeah. Perfect.
So we were really brainstorming around something that was interesting for a commonality, and since I'm kind of dealing with some dental issues, we pitched that out and came to an agreement that we've all had a dental filling in our lives. So.
Thank you so much, Spencer, for letting us know about your orthodontics or dental stuff. Love it. All right, so again, thank you all for engaging in that conversation. We hope that this activity helped you feel a little bit more connected to your Stockton community members and helped you, feel all the love that you all have for Stockton. In addition to this icebreaker, we do have a bingo sheet going around, and that is in a green sheet. And for the first 3 CSC members that complete a bingo, so that's either 3 rows this way, this way, this way, you can go ahead and let Amy, Gabby, or myself know, and you will be getting a little surprise. So little incentive going, and keep the community building going. And with that being said, I'll pass it off to Gabby to get us going to the next agenda item.
Thank you, Laura. It was so great to learn about all the quirky, interesting things you all have in common, and I hope you keep learning about each other as the night continues. As you all know, the bulk of today's agenda is really focused on community outreach exercises. So we have 3 different stations here today that are going to help guide us through that conversation. There's one table focused on district outreach efforts. So this is a space where you really get to learn about efforts that are currently taking place and getting information about what the district does. And there will also be a question, sort of Google form happening, as well as an ongoing video that's playing on loop at that table. There is also a community canvassing table and direct outreach table where you can talk a little bit more about conversations related to air filtration, and you can ask questions about, is canvassing a good opportunity for the community? What are some of the upcoming events? Things like that. And then we also have the Healthy Air Living Schools program and Outreach with Schools table that the Air District has set up. So they'll be sharing efforts around this topic specifically, including getting information around successes and gathering your feedback. So during this activity, you have a couple options. You can stay at one table that's most interesting to you. You can rotate between the 3 tables. If you do choose to rotate, your facilitation team, aka myself, Amy, Laura, will be doing time checks to kind of guide you in case you are interested in hearing about all of them. So we'll let you know when's a good time to switch. Each of the tables will have a designated note taker, and so the idea is to really share back at the end what are some of the things that stood out that you learned. And again, this helps us continue with our ongoing action items and kind of continues on to next steps from this meeting. And then additionally, there's some other kind of ongoing activities that you can engage in throughout the meeting. So of course there's the bingo, there's the air monitoring van outside. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at that, you can also do that throughout this meeting. And I believe those are, there's EV charging, thank you. There's an EV charging map where we can gather your input on where you'd like to see EV chargers in your community. So you get to kind of pin the EV charger on the map and provide your feedback that way. So those are some of the things you can do in addition to being a part of these 3 tables. And like I said, we will be asking for a group share out from each of the 3 tables, and there will be Air District folk at each of the 3 tables to guide the conversation. So with that being said, do folks have any questions to get started or anything before we kind of start walking around and learning about these 3 different outreach efforts? Okay. The bingo cards? Yeah, so it's an ongoing thing. As Laura said, if you get a bingo either direction, so 3 in a row, for the first 3 CSC members that get it, there's a little surprise, so let us know if you reached your bingo. But you can continue to, mingle with folks and learn about each other in that way. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
And can you point to which tables are which?
Okay, so this, I'll actually let Jess do this, yeah. Thank you.
I have lumpia in my mouth, so one moment. Yeah, so this is table 1. This is the district outreach, district media, social media table. Table 2 is the in-person events and canvassing door-to-door table. And table 3 is back here, which is the schools outreach table. Right next to table 3 is the EV charging station at whichever point you want to come and kind of note on the map. And then outside is the air monitoring van.
Thank you very much. Are there other questions before we get started? All right, feel free to just walk around and go to your preferred station or your preferred activity.
to go ahead and switch stations. So you can go through all 3 stations. We'll have 10 minutes per station, and you have 2 more to go. Okay. And there is also an AQ View live demo over here. Thank you. Hello? Hello? Hi, everyone. It's me again. I'm so sorry. I keep scaring folks. If you haven't gone through all 3 stations, last call to go to another station, maybe spend 5 minutes in one, 5 minutes in another. But yeah, and then another friendly reminder that there's a QView live demo, and then there's the air quality van outside. So yes, feel free to mingle and stay tuned for another announcement.
All right, folks, if you guys can make your way back to your seat, we're going to come back and regroup as a community. If you're not already sitting at your seat, if you can take a moment to go back to your original seat. All right, thank you everyone for engaging in that activity. We are now going to come back and hear a very brief report out from the general themes that were discussed at each table. So we hope that everyone had an opportunity to visit each table and get a chance to ask your questions. So I see folks are coming back. So when you were at each of the tables, we had asked the facilitators at the table to guide the discussion and to take notes on some of the themes that were discussed. We'd like to use the next 15 minutes to get a very brief summary of what was discussed and to develop some action items. As you know, those of you who attend our Zoom meetings, as part of the implementation of AB 617, we document the requested action items from the community so that we can help keep track of the implementation of all the things that need to happen for you to effectively track AB 617. So to help guide the conversation, we're going to start here at Tanisha's table. And maybe, Tanisha, if you can just give us a quick 2-minute overview of some of the themes that were discussed. If you did not have a chance to go to this table and you have questions or you have some recommended action items for anyone that's part of this discussion, please do raise your hand and we'll make note of the action item and then we'll report that out at the next meeting. Tanisha?
All right, thank you. So our table was quite busy, and we talked about a lot of different things. The first thing that we talked about was what type of in-person outreach do you find effective? And I think the biggest one was canvassing, even though that's not the, the best go-to approach right now, but I think it should be making a comeback. And then tabling at events, social media promotion, and getting more support from government agencies, going to schools to engage with the youths, and using a lot of other advertising outlets, social media or mailing out stuff and everything. And then the next question that we had is like upcoming events that everybody's either participating in or hosting, and again, it was a full paper. So we have Earth Day, Cinco de Mayo. I know I'm hosting an EV ride and drive event on Saturday, and a lot of, thank you, thank you. It's been 2 months of hectic planning. And then LMR is doing tree planting and Taste of Stockton. There's a lot of couple of events that are coming up. And the last thing that we discussed is who would be good to partner off with for the new residential air filtration program. And we have a ton of agencies and CBOs and groups that Air District and the CARB can collaborate with. Catholic Charities being one of them. Always got to rep myself. So LMR, Grid Alternatives, Edible Schoolyard, and then SB's group. There's, Western's Farm Workers Association, Animal Shelter, which was unique, and so yeah. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Nisha. So it sounds like almost everyone had an opportunity to visit this table and provide some recommendations on how the Air District can continue to collaborate and increase their outreach efforts. Raise your hand if you were able to make it to CARB's table to see the AQ View live demo. Only a couple of you. Oh, tisk over there. What happened? All right, so there's a lot of action happening at this table. I think this is a great tool to help increase transparency and access to data. So we'd love for you all to take a moment to come see the demo. So before you take off, if you could make some time to come see the interactive tool that's available. I don't know if you all want to add anything.
And we do have some handout here. If you don't have time to visit our table, please feel free to take a handout. And we do have our QR code on the back. You can just scan with your phone. You can visit our map on your phone. It's mobile friendly. And also you can type in the link on any computer. You can visit.
And we've got Stockton data up on the screen right now.
Yeah, so there's Stockton data, and you can download the data. You can use the tool. You can create all kinds of different ways to categorize the data.
I wanted to let you all know, because it was so busy, we forgot to mention, if you are hosting or you're going to be very active in one of these events you mentioned, we have bags down here with some great air quality information and outreach materials, so make sure that you grab one on your way out. And I might just remind you on your way out if you don't have one and I know you're hosting something, I'll make sure you take one. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. All right, so at this next table, we'll have another brief summary.
Alrighty, so we had the Healthier Living Schools program, and our first question was, do you have any school contacts that would help us distribute information to parents? And we were given quite a few direct contacts, so we'll follow up on our end. And then we were also given some really cool ideas of places that we can definitely try to break into and distribute information, like kids' museums, the city and county parks and recs, so that's something we'll definitely look into. The second question was, do you have any school contacts that would be interested in having Valley Air District staff give presentations. And this one we were just given to lean on San Joaquin County Office of Ed. So we'll reach out to the superintendent and see if, you know, we can, through them, make connections and get into schools to provide information. And then the third question is, what is the best method to outreach to parents? There was a lot of great conversation around this. Most of you agreed that you want to see flyers in multiple languages. You want to see it through social media. You want to see it through actual physical paper and peach jar. Another great idea was a lot of campuses hold parent and child events like lunch on the lawn, muffins with mom, donuts with dad. This would be a great way to get the Air District there and provide information and, you know, get the word out. Another one was create an Air Champion Award. This is really unique because with this, if we could get a school or a child participant to receive this award, we'd be able to distribute information that way. And then another one that most people liked was Radio Spots PSA, is, you know, putting out information that way. So a lot of great conversation. Thank you, you guys.
Thanks everyone who attended the station. Next, we're going to hear from Heather.
Thank you very much. Such a pleasure to be here tonight. For those of you that I talked to in person, I know I said this. I want to make sure I say it to all of you. This fills my cup. It fills the district's cup. We are happy to be here and talking to you in person. This is why we're doing this. So let's talk about the big picture. Our table was sort of the general outreach table. The starting point from which all outreach comes from the district. And we had, unfortunately you couldn't hear because we had such good conversations in the room, but we've got a nice little video that is a loop, and it's different commercials, different educational videos. You'll find Jess in there, you'll find the air quality monitoring van in there, you'll find things in different languages, but it's just an example of some of the digital resources we use to communicate broadly to the public, you know, based on basic things like paid advertising that you may or may not have seen on your local news, all the way to, you know, paid social advertising. So let's talk about social media. We talked about that here too. So if you didn't stop here, I would love for you to give us your handle, and also tell you that we have a handle on every platform at Valley Air, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Nextdoor. We are out there, and so we're learning, and we continue to learn. It's a constant evolution, that conversations on social media include tagging partners, and they create momentum, and they create conversations, and that's how things happen. So we'd like to start tagging you all. We'd like to make sure we're following you and having the conversations that occur from the school outreach table and the, hey, we need to talk to parents. Oh, hey, did you know the district is on social media? There's the starting point, right? The basic information is available. We also talked about where you all get your air quality information from, and Dr. Ramos was doing some shaming on those of you that said from us. Come on, guys, we have educated you over the last few years, and you can't say from us. No, I'm kidding. You could absolutely say from us, because that's really the answer we want you to say. But most of you said you got it from some kind of weather app. Well, I'm here to tell you that is us, right? The data that's flowing through all of the work we do as an agency and CARB does an agency goes into those tools and becomes the data that you're receiving through your apps and through the MSN page and through the various places you go. So a lot of conversation around how do we become more present with the health protective information. Great that you're finding a way to the information and looking for air quality information, but following that up with the action and the education and all of the things that we're here to do. And then moving down the line, we also talked briefly, and we can continue this conversation, just always looking for different media outlets to find a presence in. Much like social media conversations turn into projects and efforts, combined efforts, so do the, like, for example, somebody said the building trade newspaper or the local labor unions or even the newsletter that goes to the food distribution places here, even locally in town. So lots of ways for us to be plugged in. So we were recording all of that information, and I think that's it. Any questions?
Yes. Heather, on that social media that you have, is it like available, or like is it
great question. Thank you for asking that. Two things I want to point out answering your question. One, if you didn't grab the draft of our sort of outreach policy that we have framed with the information we've gotten from you and the work we've been doing. So we'd love for you to share that, but we do have like a social media guideline and a outreach packet that we're formalizing that we share with like contract agencies, but we also are developing a toolkit and we'll have a much better online presence for you to download logos and grab things that help you do the work. That being said, SB, I told SB she couldn't have one of the bags because she needs like 30 bags. But all that to be said, we'd love for you to take the resources in those bags home. If you find a flyer in that bag or any of the materials in there that you'd like more of, we can send them to you digitally. We can send you a box in the mail. We can prep you for an event. So don't ever go without. We have access and data and educational tools for you. Does that answer your question? Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. So we will collect all the notes from today's conversation, type them up, and make them available to you all so that we can continue to add your recommendations. So at this time, we're going to transition to talking about some of the general updates from each of the agencies that have updates for you tonight. Laura?
Thank you, Amy, and everyone for sharing. Super exciting to hear that you're all learning from and with one another. And that being said, we'll transition to standing updates. So the assist for agencies and subcommittees that are present. And I was noting some down as you were walking through the door. So first on my list is Nate from Stockton Unified. Amy will go ahead and give you that. Thank you.
Okay, the main thing I will discuss is the Stockton Unified School District Electric Bus Program. Many of you remember some sparkling presentations about 2 years ago from a gentleman named Gilbert Rosas, who moved on to Modesto. So I got to Stockton Unified back on August 23rd and got an email on the next Monday from EPA. Is Stockton Unified still interested in getting 20 electric buses? Well, anyway, long story short, we found all the files from the back in the days. The program started in December 20th of 2019 with CARB. Long story short, we've managed to keep all the deadlines on target, and this past week we signed documents to keep us current with the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District, the California Energy Commission. We'll be signing documents this week to finalize the EPA HVIP bus order of 20 buses. HVIP stands for Heavy Vehicle Incentive Program. And all of these buses are being ordered through a company called Bluebird, and they actually helped set up some of the grants originally. What I've left off, because we're still working on it, and this is extraordinarily critical, we're trying to finalize an amendment to extend the management program of CTE for one more year. CTE stands for the Center for Transportation and Environment, and they are the managing partner between us and CARB. And we need to get their contract extended for one more year. And once that's done, then we keep CARB in line, and CARB has, I think, another grant, or there's a grant that we can actively be pursuing that is $2.7 million that includes buses and equipment. When we get CTE lined up, that means we're also working with a company called the Mobility House and Sage Energy, and they're the ones that help us get the infrastructure for electric charging for the buses and to calculate all the, and Ned Liebe would be interested in this, to calculate all the energy consumption that electric buses use in kilowatt hours versus a conversion to miles per gallon with a diesel bus, which then converts into how many things you're saving in NOx emissions and oxides and all that kind of stuff. All of which is what keeps, all of which justifies them spending all this money on these buses. So depending on how you look at it, we have 5 or 6, right now we have 5 or 6 grants active to purchase 76 buses that would all arrive in approximately 18 to 24 months. We must, and through CTE and a mobility house, we must pursue grants to get approximately 20 chargers. We have 21 chargers right now, of which 17 are active, But to have a fleet of 76 buses, you're going to have somewhere around 30 chargers to be able to keep all those buses running on a daily basis. And that means getting them planned, installed, and hooked up to the PG&E grid. So that's the state of Stockton Unified's bus program at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nate, for that update. Super exciting things coming up, and we all appreciate your hard work for moving the work forward. Next up is Christy from SJCOG.
Hi everyone, my name is Christine Tran. I wanted to give an update about the Stockton Mobility Collective. We just had our event launch on Saturday that just passed. I did talk about it the last time we met. It was at UOP and it was very successful. The Stockton Mobility Collective, for those of you that need a refresher, it's the car share and bike share project. And so that is officially launched as of April 1st. Right now, we do have 2 car share services available at Conway Homes and Grand Canal. So there are 11 vehicles in total, electric cars. And we also have bike share at 5 different locations. And we still are looking for site hosts for car shares. So if your organization or you have any recommendations for me as to where we can have the car share services, find me after the event. I'd love to hear you and to get some insight. For MioCar, to book the vehicle, you would have to be a MioCar member, and you can register on miocar.org or download the app. So if you'd like some more insight on that, I'd be happy to talk to you later or whenever you'd want. You can also email me, but yeah, that's my quick update on the services. So thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you so much. Next up is Maria Martinez with UC Davis.
Oh, thank you. I'll stand up too. Okay. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's had a good meeting so far. Thank you to the Air District and the facilitation team for having me here. My name is Maria Martinez. I'm a UC Davis student. I am in a research team studying AB 617 under Professor Jonathan London, but I'm also a Stockton resident, so I grew up here. And I'll just make a quick announcement. We are currently conducting a statewide survey of community steering committee members, so CSC members. And our study is intended to assess the successes and challenges of implementation of AB 617, as well as the ways that the implementation can be improved in the future. And we invite you to complete the survey, as your insights will be very valuable for this purpose. So there is a survey that the Air District, will be sharing out, and we'd appreciate it if you could fill it out. And to kind of like show our appreciation, we will be holding a raffle for all completed responses. So y'all could have like a chance to win $50 gift cards, $100 gift cards, and $250 gift cards. So yeah, we'd really appreciate it if y'all could fill out the survey. And then, yeah, it has been sent out in English and Spanish. So yeah, if the Air District could send those too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Maria, for those updates. Everyone, make sure you go fill out that survey. And Jeff from Port of Stockton, you're next.
Thank you. It's good to be together. It's been a long, long time. It's really nice to see everybody again. Just a few quick updates from the port. We have just recently installed 6 additional fast chargers that we received through the core voucher program that are up and operational, which is exciting as folks, especially on the school bus side, realize how difficult it can be to get all your infrastructure in place. And we're also ordering 10 fast chargers, additional fast chargers through the Energize program. We're just waiting on PG&E to give us a letter that we have enough power, even though we know we have enough power. So they tell me that's going to be 6 months, so not exactly jumping right on it. I want to thank some of the members here that came out last Saturday. We all met and worked to clean up a site on the south side of the port on Roberts Island. Thank you very much to SB for helping to organize it and bringing it to our attention and coming out, even not feeling that great. We really appreciate that. And Mary Elizabeth, who came out and was working with our port director was out. We had 2 commissioners that came out. 3 different groups of tenants that came out and employees, and so we had about 45 people that came out to really make a difference on the waterway back there, which was great. We filled 2 40-yard dumpsters full of garbage, and I think we probably prevented another dumpster. Yeah, oh, the Conservation Corps as well. Yes, thank you to them and for them coming out. But we prevented a couple other dumpings, I think, as we were out there. People started dumping into our dumpsters, which was better than the alternative, I guess. I also, so that was Clean California. On March 23rd, it was a great opportunity. We have some friends at Nikola. They're a trucking company. They build Class 8 trucks. They had Class 8 electric and hydrogen trucks that they brought out to the port. They were on a Northern California tour of the 3 ports of West Sacramento, Oakland, and Stockton. But they came out and they gave our tenants an opportunity to test drive, and even a couple of our employees ran around in electric trucks all over Stockton, so hopefully they didn't do any damage. But it was really cool to see them. And it's, it's becoming more of a reality. And so a lot of our tenants are interested. We're pushing them in that direction as best we can. But just a really cool opportunity for folks to come out and see the equipment. Really quick, I know somebody's going to talk about Earth Day. We will be out at Earth Day in Victory Park on April 23rd. We're excited, so come by and see our booth out there. And then lastly, we're really excited about Congressman Harder's office has really stepped up and been reaching out about projects he could do with the port to really impact emissions. And so we talked to him about the bonnet to capture ship emissions from at least one of our berths, and that really got their attention. And so they took it to the Appropriations Committee. They loved it. And so we finalized our submittal last week. So we probably won't hear for weeks to maybe a month and a half. But we're excited to potentially get some funding to install a bonnet to capture ship emissions much quicker than we would if we were going to wait for the 2027 deadline. So that's really exciting. We're excited about that.
Thank you, Jeff, for sharing that. It sounds like there's a lot of community support going around for Port of Stockton and Stockton in general, so that's great to hear. Are there any other general updates that we may have missed as folks were walking by? Or are there any Earth Day announcements that anyone would like to make? Heather? Perfect. All right. So with that, I will pass it off to Amy.
Thank you all so much for being here. We want to just make sure that you all see and appreciate each other and know that we are super excited to be here and really grateful for all the work and commitment that you have to implementing this work. Thank you so much for the updates, Ned, as he leaves. A quick housekeeping reminder. So if you are part of the residential stipend program, please do make sure to see us on your way out so we can verify that you have all your current information on file for 2023. In addition to that, if you are not receiving emails, but you would like to be included in the email list that the Air District sends out, please do make sure that we have your contact. I know we met a few new members of the community today that would like to sign up. We want to make sure that you get your information on file. In addition to that, we do have some just general comments. I can't remember if you guys have anything else.
Oh yes, there is lots of food left, and then there's some takeout containers. We also have some bags and other containers, so you please take home food.
Take home food. Yep, so we have marketing materials here from the Air District that you can take. If you need dozens of marketing materials, please talk to Heather. But if you can take a bag and use it, please take it. Food is available. In addition to that, as usual, we are keeping track of action items. So before we go to our general public comment, want to make sure that we read out some action items that we keep track of, that we kept track of for today. If you have more to add, please do let us know. Gabby?
Thank you, Amy. So as I was walking around the different stations, I captured a couple action items. So around the school outreach, some of their next steps are to contact some of the contacts that they jotted down, as well as starting to implement some of the strategies you suggested. For community outreach, similarly connecting with contacts. And then for the social media outreach, there was a specific request, I think from Dr. Farrell, to put up trash burning billboard signs to educate the public. The council member who joined us today is also going to be connecting the Air District to town hall meetings. And then the Air District's also going to be exploring the opportunity for sort of app alerts related to air quality. So that's something that they'll explore as part of the action items. And then I also just wanted to circle back to the bingo prizes really quickly. So we received a wonderful recommendation from Matt for what he shared was the local favorite, Papa Herbs. So we stopped by on our way in and got a couple certificates for the first 3 folks who completed the bingo today. So the first person was Debbie. And
Debbie!
Yeah, there you go. She shared her favorite childhood fruit is strawberry, and so is Florence's. Her least favorite vegetable is okra, and so is Margot's. And then her ideal nature vacation spot is the beach, and so is Christine's. Our next winner is Florence, and she completed almost the full thing. So her favorite outdoor hobby is gardening, and so is Debbie's. Her favorite season is spring, and so is Nico's. And then her favorite local park is Victory, and so is Margot's. And then our last winner is Christine, and her favorite flower is a rose, and so is Espe's. Her favorite season is spring, and so is Margot's. And then also her favorite vacation spot is the beach, and so is Debbie's. Do we have anybody else who completed a bingo? Oh. Did Ed leave?
Stephanie wants to win the bingo.
Well, the other one we got actually was Ed. So Stephanie submitted Ed's for us. So thank you, Christine. So for our last winner, we got Ed here. Their climate justice superpower is helping, and so is Willie's. Least favorite season is summer, so is Spencer's. And least favorite vegetable is none, and so is Stephanie's. So thank you all for engaging, and with that, I do just want to open it up for any public comments at this time, and I'm happy to pass around the mic if somebody has anything they'd like to share, or if the Air District or Tanisha would like to share anything in terms of closing remarks. Okay, we have a couple comments.
We said the same thing. 1, 2, 3. The food was.
I was talking up.
Okay. Good. 1, 2, 3. The food was good. Yeah. I was actually going to talk about bikes because we have these electric bikes, and we do have some bike money in our SERP, and I think that we need to focus on educational events and maybe sponsoring some rodeos, some safety rodeos with helmets and more bike parking, and I know Leonard, he's a bike aficionado, and we're going to turn our Stockton into a bike-friendly community.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Well, it was a pleasure to see so many faces in one room, no screens off. Everybody was here and present, and it was so great to connect, and we're just really grateful to be supporting this as your facilitation team, so thank you for allowing us to continue to support you through this process. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to the Air District for some closing remarks.
I will just quickly echo the food was amazing, not just good, it was incredible. So please take it home. This made my year so far. Like, this was just such an amazing chance to see you all. I talk with many of you weekly. I get to interact with all of you and work really hard together. You're all doing a lot of hard work that I'm maybe not even aware of, and so I just appreciate all of you, and I was just so grateful for tonight. So thank you, and that's coming from the whole Air District. We were just so grateful for it. But I would love to have Tanisha, who once again just did such a great job helping us design this meeting, lead discussions. So please, you get the last word. Thank you.
So I just wanted to thank you, everybody, for coming out. I know it's not easy to attend in-person meeting, especially when we're so used to the virtual, having the camera off, eating and doing whatever. But I also wanted to thank you to Stephanie for reaching out to me and giving me the opportunity to be the co-host for this. It was a lovely experience, and I really enjoyed it, and I will be looking forward to co-hosting more.
Yeah. And that's actually a great reminder. If you're interested in co-hosting next month or any other month, feel free to let us know. And yeah, food, remember, get your bag if you have an event happening. And if you didn't sign in or you're missing some information in terms of receiving your stipend, come see us and we'll send you the appropriate forms. But with that, have a lovely evening, and we'll see you next month or week, depending. Yeah.
Good night.